Hello everyone, I'm Skratch. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Welcome to the channel everyone. We got some juicy news about the upcoming summoning events for this weekend, and my god, we got some huge names on the list. Of course, they will be related with the Fragment event with the Fusions, Inaugural Blade Master. I already released the Fusion plan for the champion if you want to check that out. If you want to see how the events are structured, if you kind of like want to make your plan for the Fusion. And it's always good to have good champions on the summoning pool when we have a fusion, because most of us will summon regardless to get the fragments, you know? And it's much better when you actually have good champions. We will have all the champions that are coming in from Monster Hunter to Raid Shadow Legends. Of course, we're going to have a bunch of other ones. The 7-day login champion will not be involved in the summoning events, guys, in any of them, just in case if you're curious. But we will have a 15x progressive chance to summon these champions from Ancient, Voids, Primal, and Sacred Shards, starting tomorrow all the way to Sunday. Now, the very first champion that is on the list, guys, is going to be the Archer Queen, and she is a beast for Hydra Clan Boss. Honestly, she might become one of the best provoker for Hydra Clan Boss, and she is my most wanted out of all of them. With A1 attacks an enemy, places increased accuracy on the champion. Right here, she's going to put a stun, AoE, decrease speed if she attacks bosses. She will decrease the turn meter if she stuns enemies. She will increase the turn meter of all your team if she places decreased speed. This skill right here, which will be on a 3-turn cooldown, places Hex AoE and a provoke for 1 turn. If she is attacking bosses, she will put Hex for 3 turns and a provoke for 2 turns instead, guys. She will control the Head of Decay like no other. That's why I really like her. And if she can deal some damage on top of it, that will be even better. I'm actually quickly going to check the multipliers to see if I have them right here, because I'm curious. So she doesn't have like the craziest multipliers. She has a 3-point multiplier right here, a 3.1 on the A2, which is decent-ish. You know, she's more of a debuffer and slightly damage next to it. The passive heals all allies by 10% of their max HP when attacking enemies under a Hex debuff. If there are multiple champions on the team with the same skill, only one will activate, and increases this champion's defense by 5% each time this champion receives a hit from an enemy under a Hex debuff, stacking up to 30%. Defense aura for dungeon battles, 30%, so definitely not too bad whatsoever. Then we will have some different champions from this faction, guys. We will have Valkyrie on the event. The best counter-attack champion in the game. A massive shield right here. Counter-attack on all your team. Passive that makes her jealous, you know. She will steal turn meter from the enemies. Decrease it rather than steal it, actually. And buffing her own turn meter. The A1 decreases turn meter. A double hit. Aura for faction creeps. Valkyrie's top notch. Honestly, she's just such a good champion. Then we will have another champion that is from the Monster Hunter crossover, guys, and will be the Night Revenant one, and that is Aletrion Blade Master. He looks super good design-wise as a champion, you know, and pretty good base stats. A support champion with the A1 attacks one enemy, has a chance of increasing the duration of 2 random buffs on all allies by 1 turn. Attacks all enemies, places increased defense and a shield on all allies. The shield is equal to 30% of his HP. If the target is a boss, these buffs are protected. Now, this is another champion that I would really like to get. He's gonna be nice for Amius and for some other bosses out there. The Bommel, he's gonna be very nice for the Bommel, actually. So if you need him for the Bommel, for progression and stuff like this, I feel like he's definitely gonna be top-notch in there. Then removes all debuffs from all allies, places a block debuffs buff on all allies for 2 turns. If a boss is present in the current round, this buff is protected, which is very nice, you know. I might be mistaken, actually, with the Bommel. I can't remember if you can block his bombs. Let me know in the comments down below. I honestly don't remember that part. Can we block the bombs from the Bommel? Or they cannot be resisted, they cannot be blocked, etc. I'm not 100% sure anymore. I just realized that. So I might be talking a bit too early about that. The passive fills this champion's turn meter by 5% every time a debuff is placed on them. Also heals this champion by 5% of their max HP whenever a debuff is placed on them, expires, or is removed. Speed aura for dungeons, 30%. So another another solid champion. Then we have Shamet, of course, on the list, guys. She's pretty nice as a DPS, and she can work great in Hydra too. Attacks one enemy 2 times, has a chance to put a defense down, transfers all debuffs from this champion to a target enemy, then attacks that enemy 3 times. The first hit increases the duration of debuffs, the second decreases the duration of buffs, also increases the duration of buffs on this champion by 1 turn. The A3 attacks all enemies 2 times, removes all buffs, and then ignores 20% of the target's defense if there are no active buffs. The passive increases the champion's accuracy by 10 for each buff on each enemy, and increases the champion's crit damage by 5 for each debuff on each enemy, stacking up to 100%. So overall, this is pretty nice. She's actually not a bad champion. Moving over to the next one, guys. We're going to have Ray from the Dark Elves. I haven't seen Ray in a summoning event in a very, very long time. Triple AoEs. She used to have one of the hardest hitting skill in the entire game if the enemy had debuffs. This one right here strips all buffs, puts a freeze on the enemy. Speed aura for dungeons 33%. Chance to land defense down with the A1. She's great to farm campaign with her, guys, for even nightmare campaign actually. And yeah, she can be used in arena for a lot of people that are still progressing, even in gold 5, you know, tag team arena, sometimes even for live arena maybe, you know. Overall, not a bad champion. True, she did got power creeped a lot in the last couple of years or so. Then we have Ruel, the Hunt Master. He was, I think, one of the very first Hex champions, together with the one from the Doom Tower. He was a pass fusion, and he was the one that kind of like really enabled damage when you have Hex on the enemies. Attacks an enemy, has a chance to put defense down. AoE attack places an extra hit on enemies under Hex. These multipliers were actually a bit better than Tron does, especially if you have Hex on enemies, because this will ignore defense too if there are all of them under Hex. The passive decreases the speed of enemies under Hex. Also increases the damage enemies under Hex debuff receives by 10%, sorry, and decreases the value of heals they receive by 30%. He's pretty good. Again, he got power creeped a lot. He's conditional. He needs the Hex in order to shine in arena and other content. But he can put in some serious work on Hydra in lower tiers, you know. Then we have Shite Master right here, Fatalis Shite Master. Honestly, I'm not impressed with this champion at all, and I would not recommend anyone to summon for this champion unless you're a Pokemon collector. I've done a guide on him yesterday, we checked him out, and yes, people said Skratch, he's really going to shine in Hydra. Because he has this decrease defense, right? And he can decrease the attack too on a single enemy. Is this really enough for a Void Legendary in 2024, comparing him with all the other Void Legendaries that we have in the game? I don't think so. Some of you guys might disagree on it, and it's fine, absolutely fine. If you like the champion, you will have the opportunity to summon him. But me, I feel like it's my responsibility to advise you guys, and I don't think I can recommend anyone to go and summon for this champion as it is, okay? Let me just put it right there. He should ignore defense, strengthen, stone skin, increase defense, ally protection. He ignores a lot of defense with the kit. He is good at staying alive. I'm not going to take that away from him. I actually love the passive. He has a secret skill, which again sounded amazing on paper. But I'll be very, very honest. He is not great at doing work in arena. And some people say this champion is not meant for arena. He is meant for arena 100%. Who else has stone skin in the game? Like pretty much nobody runs stone skin in any dungeons or anywhere else, you know. No waves have stone skin. HP aura for arena battles only. So yeah, they clearly intended him to be an arena champion. Yeah, some people will be like, Skratch, I can use him in live arena. He's gonna be great in a longer fight. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of champions will be great in a longer fight. You know, they have different kits, interesting kits, but I really don't think he deserves the title of a Void Legendary. The kit on paper sounds amazing though. Shame he's not living up to the expectations. Then we will have Turval on the list. Like, he's 10 times better than that champion, guys. Yes, he doesn't have a fancy passive to keep him alive, you know, but Thanks God we have Stone Skin accessories now, so we can run Stone Skin and Savage on a champion like Turval, and he will deal so much damage with a Juggernaut. Increases his own attack, increase crit rate, increase speed, weaken. The aura, unfortunately, is just for faction creeps, but Turval is much, much better than that champion. I would summon Turval over that champion any day. Then we have Haimon. Haimon is still one of the most unique champions in the entire game because he's always going first no matter what, right? He's taking the turn first. And yeah, he can decrease attack, block active skills, decrease speed. He can deal damage, he can control. But he really got power creeped a lot as well because of reactions, Stone Skin, and other champions that counter him. So I wouldn't really value Haimon as a top champion as he used to be before, but he's still pretty good. And for the lower tiers of Arena, my god, he's gonna be a beast, 100%. Then we have quite a few epics on the list, guys. We have Farrakeen the Fat. He's one of my most favorite epic champions, actually. Ally attack, you have HP burn poisons, increase crit rate, increase crit damage, defense down, this passive that will mitigate a bit of the damage and keep him alive longer. Like, he can put a lot of work in a lot of places, like people use him in Fire Knight Heart, Clan Boss, City of Sintranos, Faction Wars, many different areas. He can be used on the Dragon. He will bring you quite a bit of utility, Then we have Kaden. He's actually not too bad as a reviver, as a provoker, especially for the Faction Wars. He has a chance to provoke with the A1, but it's a very low chance. AoE decrease attack on a 3-turn cooldown, which is nice again, and revives to random allies with increased defense and 50% HP. Overall, I feel like he's gonna get even more value with the Cursed City, like he's definitely gonna be used quite a bit in some of the areas. Then we will have Skull Crown. She still rocks, man. Like, Skull Crown as well, she deals more damage than the new Void Legendary. And she's a Void Epic, and she's been in the game since forever. She's a vanilla champion. Speed aura for Arena. AoE on the A1, attacks all enemies. Places an extra hit if the target has more than 50% HP. Great on a stun set. She will bring you a lot of value like that. Build her on stun with damage. AoE on the A2 with a chance to put weaken on the enemies. Two passives. One of them is pretty crazy because it will keep her alive with an unkillable buff when her HP drops below 20% on a 4-turn cooldown. And that causes a lot of issues for a lot of people in Arena if you don't have block buffs or something to ignore that unkillable. And the other passive will revive her when Sinesha is on the same team on a 6-turn cooldown. Pretty good attack as well for Epic, 1500. And we have Touch Shamon, which is on the list as well, guys. One of the best Epic cleansers in the game. She brings crazy healing too. So with the A1, she's going to attack all enemies. She's going to give you a bit of a healing. The passive will place decreased speed or fear on her, which is a bit weird. But you can counter it a bit with immunity to start the fight with, And right here removes all debuffs from all allies, then places a block debuffs buff and a revive on that buff on all allies for 2 turns. And you have a HP aura for all battles. But this is pretty much what we have in terms of champions, guys. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you tempted to go for any of these particular epics or legendaries? Is one of them on your most wanted list? And I do think that it's great to have good champions when we have fusion, guys, because it's making our life easier and we have a chance to get the champion that we want when we are actually summoning. Most probably, I will be putting it on the 15x. I'll put the hunter queen, or whatever she's called, the barbarian one. She will do great as a provoker in Hydra. Probably she's not going to make it in any of my final teams for Hydra Clan Boss because I'm looking to always maximize my damage. But I feel like if I would be to pick any of the champions, will be either her, either the Night Revenant, So who knows? Maybe I'm gonna try to get both of them, or maybe I'm gonna get none of them. But that was all for this video. Much love. Appreciate every single one of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. I will be posting later a guide on the fusion, guys, so stay tuned for that. Much love, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.